Most of our lives are spent entirely absorbed in the immediate. We bounce from momentary joys to sudden sorrows, sprinting through a constant, chaotic drama of daily tasks and reactions. We naturally assume that the person experiencing all of this friction is who we actually are. We equate our identity entirely with our physical body and the thoughts racing through our head. But ancient Vedanta philosophy offers a different anatomy of who you are. This diagram illustrates the human structure split into two halves, the physical body, or gross equipment, on one side, and the mind and intellect, the subtle body, on the other. Both of these are constructed entirely from the 5 basic elements of nature: earth, water, fire, air, and space. As long as we believe we are simply a collection of these elements, we remain locked in a mechanical existence. We operate as biological machines, constantly reacting to the world and suffering through the friction. Curious, analytical tone. To understand how this machine runs, look at this abstract hierarchy. At the very bottom is a dormant, microscopic point. This represents a vasana, a latent, residual desire left over from our past experiences. These hidden seeds are the actual engines driving human behavior. When a vasana sprouts, it moves upward. It begins as a tiny, subtle wave of desire that disturbs the intellect. That intellectual ripple then travels into the mental zone, where it shatters into active, erratic thought disturbances. What started as a dormant seed is now a chaotic swarm of demands inside the mind. Finally, this internal chaos forces its way to the surface. The thought disturbances compel the physical body into outward, exhausting activity in society just to satisfy that original urge. The physical body and the mind are precisely the tools nature fabricated for this exact process. Most of what we call our life is really just this vehicle helplessly burning through these whimsical, latent desires. The first step towards escaping this cycle requires a radical deconstruction of your identity. You begin by actively declaring what you are not. You are not earth, you are not water, nor fire, nor air, nor space. This internal negation is a strict necessity. We have lived through lifetimes repeating the misconception that we are our bodies and minds, and only a systematic rejection of the elements can break that deeply ingrained habit. But there is a severe danger in stopping at "I am not the body." Stripping away the material self without replacing it drops the seeker into an empty, dark pit of total non-existence, what Vedanta calls shunya. Tearing down the false self is only half the process. To avoid drowning in this philosophical void, you have to complete the equation with a positive assertion of your true spiritual nature. Once you discard the elements, what remains is the eternal light of pure consciousness. This is the positive assertion. You are the self. This consciousness is the hidden factor within us that brings every physical and mental experience into our awareness. It is the reason we actually know that we are thinking or feeling. This logic model isolates the core duality of our existence. On one side, you have the material elements, the active, constantly changing world and body. This is the Illumined. On the other side is the self, perfectly still and unchanging. This is the Illuminator. Notice how the dynamic works. Just as sunlight floods a room to reveal the furniture without ever getting tangled in the fabric, the Illuminator simply casts light. It makes the chaos visible, but remains completely unaffected by the movement. The exact same mechanism operates in the human mind. The pure light of consciousness illuminates the frantic, rollicking dance of your thoughts, but it never actually touches them. It is always separate. True freedom requires recognizing this specific dynamic. Vedanta calls it a relationless relationship, where your pure awareness touches the messy world of thoughts and objects, yet remains entirely unattached. Moving from abstract philosophy to daily practice requires a specific technique in meditation. It is the practice of becoming the witness. Consider the chaotic, pluralistic world of daily life as a traumatic car crash happening right in the middle of a busy street. It is loud, destructive, and full of sorrow. The witness is the person standing securely on the footpath. They see the accident vividly. The events are fully brought into their awareness, but they are completely uninvolved in the wreckage itself. In meditation, you train yourself to take this exact position. By standing as a detached observer to your own internal thoughts and external circumstances, you immediately step out of the daily tragedy of human life. When you establish this inward stillness, a mechanical failure occurs within that cycle of desire we mapped earlier. By withdrawing your identity away from the mind and body, you cut off the fuel supply to your deepest vasanas. Without the mind's engagement to sustain them, those latent seeds of desire dry up. They are burnt away entirely in the quiet of meditation, leaving behind nothing but pure, unattached awareness, objectless consciousness. The world around you will continue to crash and spin. The ultimate realization is that freedom never comes from fixing the machinery of the world or silencing the mind by force. Freedom is simply shifting your identity from the exhausted actor on the stage to the quiet, eternal illuminator watching from the wings.